All right, here we are back with another episode. And Henry, introduce yourself for everybody.
My name is Henry Sabella. I run Jibskin apparel, and yeah, that's me.
Word. So, how old are you, and where do you live right now?
I'm 17 right now. I live like right outside the city. If anyone lives like close to the city, they might know Westchester. So I live in Hastings, little town. Um, been skiing my whole life. I go up every weekend to a little mountain called Bel Air. Most people don't know of it. It's close to Hunter. It's in the Catskills. So
So, 17 years old. You're still in high school. Are you a junior or are you a senior?
yeah, I'm a junior.
Cool. Have you taken the SATs yet? Or are you getting ready to do that? I forget like the timeline for everything.
Um no, I mean, I'm in a weird situation where I kind of I want to go to college, but I really don't know what to do like after high school. I kind of want to just like go out into the world and just like ski a lot and just work, and I don't know. I don't really think I'm ready for college yet. So I'm kind of taking school lightly, just sort of assessing my options, I think, and yeah, gonna see where my head is at like come senior year. So I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's a good way to approach it. Some people force it. Have you looked at any colleges yet?
Yeah, I've been looking like around the country, mostly on the East Coast, but I went to Montana like in the middle of winter, February, I think.
That's
And
sick.
yeah, did some skiing there. Went to Whitefish and Big, not Big Sky. What was the other one? I forget. Whitefish was the one that like stood out to me though. That
Yeah.
one was. And there's a school near there. I think it's University of Montana, um, or Montana State. That school looked really nice.
Cool.
Otherwise, mostly just like north of where I live, like Vermont area, northern New York. That's like where I'm trying to go.
Yeah.
Burlington, especially. I kind of want to be near like Sugar Bush and stuff like that.
That'd be sick, dude. I love talking to the younger guys because it's just funny. You guys, your heads are in different places from like the older guys I have in the podcast who were like in high school, over
Yeah.
15 years ago. So it's funny. Do you compete at all? Like, are you on the competition circuit?
Yeah. I compete in USA. Say I don't really like take it super seriously. Like I'm not technically I'm nowhere close to like good enough to like do anything major. It's not really what I'm about, but it's fun. Like me and my friends at my little mountain have been doing it since we were like younger. So yeah, and I just went to my first nationals this year. I've never been before.
Oh, that's sick. So what's
Yeah.
so give us the rundown on what it's like getting into that, especially being like in the Catskills. It's not like you're growing up at Copper. You're growing up at like a
Yeah.
pretty tiny mountain.
Yeah.
So how does it work getting your foot in the door?
I mean, well, for Bel Air especially, like they don't really get a lot of like attention to the parks. Like we have a park crew, like some of my buddies are on it. And like they build the parks. There's not a ton of funding going into it. So we don't have like fat tubes and stuff like that. Like at Copper, it's just fat tube after fat tube, and you can just like really play around with it, and it's low risk. At our mountain, it's like not like that. It's like single pipes, like 2 inches, and it's like it just kind of sucks to learn stuff on. So I try to go to like other mountains. Like Wyndham is pretty good. Hunter, they kind of used to be better until they got bought by Vail. But yeah, Killington especially. I went to Killington and like just had such a good time there because I mean, obviously.
Yeah. How old were you when you like got into park skiing specifically?
So I started skiing at Wyndham when I was like a little kid, like a small child, right? Just in daycare. Um, and then when I was like 6-ish, we moved to Bel Air, and I still wasn't like a great skier yet. So my dad really spent like a lot of time with me on like the bunny slope, like teaching me how to ski. And then by the time I was like good enough to like pretty much ski everything, like all types of terrain, my parents wanted to sign me up for like a program at Bel Air, and so they basically gave me the option. Like they're like, "Yo, do you want to go in like alpine, racing, or freestyle?" And I was like, "Well, freestyle seems the coolest, so that's what I'll do." And that first year, like the first 2 or 3 years, were like like the actual golden years of my childhood, honestly. Like it was so like wild just like getting introduced to that because I was still young at the time. So park skiing was in like a super like just like it was a great scene. And I wasn't young enough to even see it. I didn't even like have a phone. So I was not on Instagram or anything or watching ski movies, but I saw like the culture that my coaches brought just from like just doing it. You know, they were just like local kids from like around the mountain. And yeah, like my first like introduction to park skiing was really just looking up to those guys.
That's awesome. And so
Yeah.
were you playing other sports, or was like this your main outlet?
I've always been like a pretty serious soccer player. I stopped playing like really recently. I don't think I was like super serious about it at that point, like when I was a little kid, but as I got into like middle school, like I became really serious about soccer. And I also became more serious about skiing, just more serious about both. And um yeah, so since like middle school, basically, I've sort of been loving skiing more and more, and soccer hasn't really been doing it like more and more, you know. So I sort of made the decision to stop playing soccer like a couple months ago. Um, and yeah, now I'm just a full time skier.
Yeah, that's sick. So every time I talk to somebody your age, it's like your generation of skiers, everyone's like, "Yeah, like I do competitions, but I'm not like really into them." Like, what's going on with that? Why is like your whole age group just like you guys just do the comps for fun? Like, what do you not see a future career in it? Like, what's holding you guys back from actually really caring about them?
You know what? It's too hard. It's like it's. I mean, you have to see like what kids my age are just like crazy. Like there's no chance that at like without spending thousands of dollars, I'm not gonna get to that level. Like I can't cork right now, you know?
Yeah.
And there are kids my age that can well Matej can quad cork. So yeah, like that's real. Like the stuff that's going down nowadays, just not even like it's not even realistic to think that, you know, even if I did go to an academy or something like that, it's just like it's not really in the cards, you know.
Yeah. So you don't have like a coach or anybody teaching you tricks? Is it like self-taught and just like buddies in the park?
Yeah, nowadays I just shred up the park with my friends, and you know, skiing with friends is what teaches you things. I'm like so sure of that. Like just skiing with people that are better than you, like a little bit better than you, not like super better than you, because then it's like you don't really even get inspired because you're just like, all right, I'm trash, you know. But if you're skiing with kids that are like a little bit better than you, you'll just end up getting good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's totally been my experience too. Like you can't be riding with the best kid in the park if you're just learning.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
so you said you went to nationals. What's the vibe like there going from like regional competitions and you show up with like the big dogs that are actually getting coached? Like what's the vibe at the competition actually like?
I mean, it's like obviously everyone's a good skier at nationals. Like, well, the majority of people that you see are just like just better. You know, it's like the average kid at nationals is obviously better than the average kid at a regional competition. But I feel like that's especially true just for me in my region because there's really like no one in my region to compete against. Like it's basically just me and like a couple other kids and like yeah, me and like two other kids are like consistently there, but it's basically like a guaranteed podium and it's like all right, sick. Like you only do it to go to nationals, you know.
Yeah. And so
Um
who's competing at nationals? I don't even know like like the big names of your generation right now.
the big names. Well, it would have to be like the guys that were in open class, like Jackson, Durham Jones, who else? Oh, Bodie Rafa. Bodie Rafa was actually from my mountain. He started skiing at Bel Air. Um, yeah, I guess those would be the big names. Um, yeah, plus like all those kids from Y East Academy, like they're all pretty good. I mean, everyone's pretty. I feel like everyone is like has their own name on Instagram now. You know, like as long as you post consistently, like it doesn't even matter what it is. It could be skiing or whatever. If you just post consistently and you're like sort of around, like people just know who you are. You know.
Yeah. So do you guys care more about comp results or like Instagram following?
Well, for me, I don't know about other people, but for me, it's like way more about community, like I don't really care about comps. I'm literally only at the comps for the experience.
Yeah. Dude, and that's totally respectable. Like you don't need to show like sometimes it's just fun to show up and be like part of the whole thing, even if you don't plan on
Exactly.
winning. Yeah.
Exactly. Like at nationals, I actually dropped out of slope because I was like, this is just ridiculous. I mean, I've never hit a jump that big in my life. I've literally never hit a jump bigger than like 50 feet in my life. So going to nationals, seeing kids like dub on those jumps, like second run, I was like, come on, like what's going on, man?
That's funny, dude. Damn.
Yeah.
So let's see, you're in high school, you're on that comp scene kind of casually. What when did you start like getting interested in business stuff? It doesn't even have to necessarily be Jibskin, but like were you a kid that was selling stuff on eBay or like did you have an entrepreneurial spirit before you started Jibskin or was this like your first thing that you really got into?
I mean, I've always been interested in making money. I feel like I was always like the kind of person to just like do like what's normal. Like, I mean, I had a job when I was like 14, which is like the legal age or something, and I worked every summer, and like that was my idea of making money. Just working. Um, and then like with TikTok and everything, like NFTs and all that, I was like, huh, there's like some other stuff that I could do. But like I was very idle for like a long time. I was very idle. Like I just did a lot of photography. Like I got into photography and videography and all that, like media arts, in like middle school. Um, and like, yeah, I just got into like all like the media side of things in like middle school. And then getting into high school, I sort of like pondered the idea of like trying to start my own little side hustle. Doing something like that, like crypto or whatever, and nothing ever like happened. And then my friend Milo, he's actually my neighbor. He started his own clothing brand freshman year, and it kind of, I mean, I'm not really sure exactly what's going on like in his whole like niche because I'm not like in that niche. It's like streetwear and stuff, but seeing him like achieve success in that, like really, I was like, like this is a thing that kids can do to make money. Like that's a real thing. So I basically spent the entirety of last summer, not the entirety, like the second half of last summer, um, planning the whole thing. I realized pretty quickly that I didn't have like enough money to like make a huge upfront investment. I kind of just like, yeah, I didn't have enough money to like buy like a whole bulk order of stuff, that would cost thousands of dollars. I was like, you know, I just didn't have that kind of money. And
Yeah.
so I kind of felt like I needed to make money without spending money to start. And that's like what my whole system is based off of to begin with. And then it's sort of evolved since then.
Yeah. So last summer, I mean you got inspired by your neighbor. So what was the impetus to like actually get started? Like was there a moment where you're like, dude, I'm done thinking about this, let's just do it? Or like what how did you get into actually putting it into action if you remember?
Um, I actually do remember. So I started out like trying to think about like all the things I would need to make like upfront to just start the business, and I really like I wanted to do like I wanted to do like screen printing like on like hoodies and stuff, and like set up my own like whole like station with like different designs and all that. And then I started doing the research, and I realized you need to spend like for a good like setup, like you need to spend a lot of money. And so I, after making like a whole spreadsheet and everything with like every little product I'm gonna need and how many sales it's gonna take to break even and all that stuff, I was just like, I can't even spend this kind of money to get started. So I ended up like I remember like I was about to place the order for everything. Like this one day, I was like, all right, I'm placing this order today, and something in me just made me just think like I'm gonna lose money from this. Like this is not a good idea. Like don't pull the trigger. you know. And I was like, it was a weird feeling. Like I remember just feeling like this is not gonna work. Like don't do this, you know. So I scrapped the entire spreadsheet and did a lot more research and came upon the print on demand solution. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it's basically drop shipping for clothing and like customizable clothing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's a genius way to do it. So what was the service that you used for that?
so I use Printful, and they make it really easy to have like custom packaging and all that stuff, and like, um, like you upload your design, you can have inside labels, all that stuff, and then it does cost a lot more, so you don't like have as much profit. But if all you're trying to do is like start the brand and start the image and like start raising some capital, then it's a really good option just to like get your feet off the ground, you know?
Yeah. So I'll just give a breakdown because I've also looked into this for doing my own merch.
Yeah.
So basically, and I think we brought up drop shipping before on a different episode, and just in case like anybody's confused, so instead of creating all the product and then sending it to yourself and paying shipping to like your house and then sending it to customers, you essentially just get the addresses of the customers and have it sent directly to them. So you never have the product in your hands. And then Printful, you don't even need to like set up a batch ahead of time, correct? You could just, if you set up a design and one person wants it, they'll print it out. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like there's zero risk, there's zero cost that you're putting in up front. Like you could start this without any customers and build it from there. And that's basically what I did. I just started making money, so I had enough money to do something bigger, you know?
How did you so Printful's like the service, but how did you send people to like the shop to actually get it? Because don't you have to link it up to a Shopify account or do you just put on your own website? Like how do they actually
Yeah.
get to the Printful?
I think the easiest way is to just do it through Shopify. I have Shopify. That's what my store is run through. So it's just completely like linked up to it, like all the pictures and everything, costs, all that, and it just charges you like just automatic. Like you literally don't have to do anything. No buttons pressed. Just like you get an order. I mean, I always like check the emails and stuff to like make sure it's going well, but yeah, you don't have to do anything.
So you literally just sit back and relax and like just maintain it like loose, like barely maintain the whole system.
Well, that is what I was doing.
Okay, so this is the
For
beginning. Yeah.
yeah, for a while. Well, it's still what I'm doing for like clothing, but I don't really sell that. Like that's just sort of not like what I'm about right now. But yeah, in the beginning, all I was doing was clothing, and yeah, I mean, I was still on the content grind and just doing as much as I could just in the community. But yeah, in terms of actual administration of the clothing and fulfillment, there's not a lot involved.
So just still in the early days. So did you already have the like were you operating under Jibskin as a name from the beginning?
Yeah, I remember I was calling my friend while he was at Mount Hood to like come up with the name, and he was getting all of his friends to like rate the names and stuff, and I forget if I came up with it on that FaceTime call, but it was in the summer, I know that. But yeah, I had the name and everything, like the logo, pretty much right off the bat.
And so how'd you come up with the name Jibskin? It's kind of clever because it's just like
Yeah,
outerwear while you're jibbing, right? Like it makes sense, but how'd you
exactly.
think of it?
I don't know. I mean, I think I was just on most of my ideas just come up with when I'm on FaceTime with my friends. Like I just think better, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Um yeah, but the name Jibskin, so a lot of people don't like know what it means or like just don't really understand it. It's basically like clothing, right? Like your clothing I consider it to be like a part of you. It's like when you go out skiing, it's like you don't see your face, you know, you only see like what you're wearing. So it's sort of like your skin, and then jibbing, it's just what you do.
Yeah,
So it's your jib skin.
yeah. Did you set up an LLC at the beginning? Like, did you make it a proper business, or is this all just kind of under
Yeah,
your own
no,
name?
I still don't have an LLC. I just like have not gotten around to doing that yet. I'm just full like products mode, content mode.
Yeah, that'll help with your taxes if you have everything under an LLC. Because then any month, like,
Yeah.
how much does the Shopify service cost? Because like you probably have like some expenses involved with all this, right?
Oh yeah. Like the Shopify thing is 30. Actually, I have like the least expensive like membership. It's $30 a month. And then I guess the other thing would be the domain, which is $12 a year. So that's like nothing.
Oh, for the
Um
website that you have.
yeah, like the domain name, like jibskin.com instead of just like Jibskin at my Shopify or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um yeah. Uh Other than that, there's really no like monthly stuff except for like actually like buying the bulk orders, which is what I'm doing now.
Yeah. So you were doing the drop shipping for the graphic tees and the hoodies and the hats. Or no, could you do that with hats too, or is that where you have to start
Yeah.
buying in bulk?
No, I mean, there's like a bunch of products that you can do. Like hats is like pushing it in terms of like what I would actually want to like put on the website from Printful. Like a lot of the stuff is just like not high quality at all. Um, but yeah, you can do like a lot of different garments from Printful.
Sick. So what was the next evolution and everything? So you go from doing the drop shipping with the graphic tees, now you're getting into pants. Like how's it getting more advanced?
Yeah, so since the beginning I had wanted to do pants. Like that was like always what it was about. Like cuz I mean everyone wants pants. Pants are like all the rage. It's just like, pants was always the destination I wanted to get to. And they didn't have snow pants on Printful, or I don't know, maybe they do, but they're probably not steezy. So I couldn't do that cuz I was still using the Printful system. So I talked to my friend, I talked to Milo a lot, did a bunch of research and found a manufacturer to create or to make my design. And yeah, released spring pants. That was the first manufactured product I made. And then now we're doing summer pants, which is releasing tomorrow. Um, yeah,
Good timing, yeah.
yeah.
That's sick. So where's the manufacturer? Are you doing like an Asian thing, or are you doing in America?
Well, they're actually based in Pakistan. That's just where like most of the clothing manufacturing is, I guess, in the world. Also, like I think the prices in Pakistan are probably better than anywhere else. You can get it for like super good prices. Just like it's a really great system.
Sick. And so they did the designing and the manufacturing, or did you have to send them an idea and like dimensions for what you wanted for the pants?
They have templates, but I like always amend. Like I kind of like create my own templates and then like based on what I see from theirs. So I take the good parts of theirs and I just, make my own. And I'm amending it every single drop until I get like the perfect pants.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty close, but I'm still just gonna keep updating them like every single time.
Do you get to have like a sample product, or are you going all in and hoping that like the manufactured product is actually what you were looking for?
So for the first pair, I got a sample just to like make sure the quality was there. But in terms of just like ordering orders, it's really just like they can send me pictures and stuff just of everything. And if they have any questions, they always ask me. So it's easy to like get what I want without too much of a hassle.
Dude, how did you learn how to do all this stuff at 17 years old? Like I believe like if people are determined to do something, they'll figure a way to make it work. But like
That's what it is.
yeah, like how did you personally find it? Was it all YouTube? Was it TikTok? Like where are you finding the info?
Yeah, it's literally just every resource you can possibly have at your fingertips. You have to use it. Like YouTube, the internet, that's great. It helps that I have a friend who can answer like any questions that aren't anywhere on the internet. Um, I can, yeah, looking at what other brands do. That's about it. Just like you have to see your resources and just look at and just capitalize.
And just use them. Have you reached out to like any of the other dudes making snow pants or any of the other basically any of the other small businesses I've been talking to?
None of the ones that you've been talking to, because they're all like older heads. I'm not really like in that whole circle yet, I feel like.
Mid 20s, yeah.
Yeah, but I do have a couple collaborations lined up in the next couple months. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so you haven't
that's
even hit them up for like just like, yo, how do like what manufacturer do you use, any of stuff like that? Just kind of
oh no, no.
yeah. Dude, good for you, man. 17 years old, that's crazy. Have you had
Thank you.
any like second thoughts that especially when you're first starting, like, damn, we're really doing this, or are you like, nah, let's do this, like no looking back?
Yeah, no, the whole thing is like sort of a mind game. Like it's really like the more you think it's just working and like, the products are good and people genuinely like them, and like the more you think that you're doing everything right, like you usually are. It's sort of like about tricking yourself into thinking that things are going well even when they're not. And
Yeah.
it's like I feel like the spikes down, it's like you need that just to have the spike ups.
Yeah. Have you had any friends that are like naysayers, like, nah, dude, like this is not gonna work whatsoever? You
Oh
surround
yeah,
yourself. Oh yeah, you do. You have people that
yeah,
are like,
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I've definitely had fair share of people, you know,
they're
yapping,
just
but
doubters. Yeah.
yeah, no, it doesn't matter though.
Yeah. What do your parents think of the whole thing? I mean, they must be pretty stoked that you're taking it upon yourself to like learn all this.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're proud. They're like
Supportive of
they're
the whole
kind of
thing.
like, yeah, I feel like every single time like something happens, they're just like, you should record that. Like you should write down that this happened now. That's what they always tell me.
Dude, that is who was I talking? I was talking to somebody recently, and that's like a really underrated part of the process is writing down, new milestones or your thoughts and worries, and then revisiting them. Because like whenever I have personally have an idea of like a project I want to do, whether it's like in the ski world, out of the ski world, I never delete that note because I love coming back to it like a year later, like completely forgetting about it, and then looking back at like a list of like just ideas, and be like, oh, we actually made like that one happen. So I think like taking notes during your journey helps when you're because it's all relative, Something at the beginning
Yeah,
that's something at the beginning that really stresses you out just becomes second nature like 3 months in. So
yeah,
tapping into
exactly.
that and then just being like, oh, I overcame that. I could easily overcome this next obstacle and this next
Yeah,
obstacle. Yeah.
yeah. Like, yeah, I feel like I mean, for in terms of like actually keeping a record, like I feel like just Instagram feed is enough. Like you can pretty much see what's going on from that. Um, but I definitely I have a document with like just cool stuff that's happened, all the different drops, like with their months and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I'll probably use this if I want to apply to college. I'll probably end up bringing this up at some point.
Yeah. Would you want to pursue like if you do end up going to college, would you want to pursue like a fashion or like a graphic design oriented major?
I was thinking more like on the marketing side
Mhm.
because that's like I feel like something that I have good intuition on that whole side, and yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to work like in terms of actual job opportunities. I'd rather work for like a smaller business where I'm like doing like more hands-on stuff, like actually making the content, like making the Photoshop slides, all that stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I don't know. I don't work in like the I studied business, but like I never got like one of those like business internships where I'm like helping out a local business or doing like the social media marketing. But it seems like every single company, regardless of the size, even if it's like a landscaping company, everybody's dying for a social media manager.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's the best job.
yeah, that's funny. Uh, so in terms of like the content production, like making videos and stuff, is that just to hype up the brand, or do you have interest in like making like team videos or anything? I mean, we can get into who you sponsor later, but like, do you have any like aspirations for that side of things, or is that just for fun and like hyping things up?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like all of the above, but I do want to start like making it more of like a not just a clothing brand, but like a community as a whole, like not a production company, not a clothing brand, but just an entire like, you know,
Yeah,
just a
like what Gibberish does. Like they're not like a production house, but like they have a sick team and sick
Yeah,
clothes and
yeah,
like that's it.
exactly. Like level one gibberish. Yeah,
Mm, yeah,
tall T. Yeah, those brands are like the uh the creme de la creme.
yeah. So who's your what riders you got? Like, do you sponsor people just with like free merch? Do you just hook up your friends? How does the sponsorship work?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like, I guess you would call them sponsors, but it's mostly just like kids that I like know from social media that I've given stuff, and that's basically who my team is. So I've got like uh probably like 20 guys total that I've like sent clothing to, just from different places.
Like other dudes that you've just met on the slopes or like through social media, a little bit of both?
Yeah, yeah, both. Like just people I've met, people that are friends of people I've met, people I just like know from social media for some reason, you know.
Yeah.
Or just random dudes that are good at skiing. I mean, honestly, if I just see a guy that I like his profile, I'll just be like, "Yo, like you want some pants?"
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty yeah, that's pretty good. So how's like the profit on this? Are you because drop shipping, like you said, there's like barely any upfront cost. So do you still need to pick up like a job at a summer camp, or like washing dishes, or is this your part-time job while you're in school and it's like enough money to be a part-time job?
I think it's gonna start being like a lot more profitable like by next ski season. I'm starting to experience that right now. Like now that I just did the spring pants, doing the summer pants, like the whole manufacturer thing, it's way more profitable, and it's just like a better system. It's also like way more predictable, you know, because like I kind of know like how much I'm gonna make from one drop, how much I need to spend, like what I need to save after. You know, it's much more predictable for like planning on stuff like long term.
Yeah.
So yeah, to answer your question, I I don't really consider it a job, but like I'm gonna work this summer. I'm gonna work a job, but I could probably get it to a level where I don't need a job. Like for a high schooler, you know, I'm
Yeah,
gonna get a
totally.
job when I'm older. Yeah,
Yeah, like you're not supporting a family with this. It's just
yeah,
making a couple bucks. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Cool. So so the first time I found out about your company was when I was interviewing Jackson, and he said that you guys did the rail skiing collab for all of his merch. So how did that one come about?
That one came about actually pretty quickly. Like that was, I would say, like the very beginning of the incline for Jibskin. Like I remember just like watching like YouTube videos and like trying to see like how I can like get the name out there. And I figured like why not just like hit up like some of the Instagram celebrities and ask if they want some free clothing. And this was all like 2 weeks in, keep in mind. So like 2 weeks in actually dropping like the first clothing. So this was like I had like 250 followers. Like it was pretty wild in hindsight. So I hit up Jackson and I'm like, yo, you want a hoodie or something? He's like, I'm down. I love your brand. It's a great idea. I'd love to collab. And I was like, sure. Like that would be great. So that whole thing happened and it was pretty much uphill from there.
Yeah. And so who decided on the design for the I mean it's not like it's a super complex design. It really is just like a rail. But who was the one that actually drew
Yeah.
it up and like got everything going?
So it was mostly like Jackson's ideas, and then I just made all of them in Photoshop.
Mhm. Did you start with like a did you do in terms of like your Photoshop process, do you start with like a base thing and then make it look like for example that Y East rail, like the kind of we call it the umbo
Oh
sundown,
yeah.
but it's like that kicker rail. Did you just take the photo of it and then add details to it and kind of make it look more abstract, or did you build that from scratch?
Um, yeah, that was I've actually gotten like way better at Photoshop just since then, just because I've been doing this. But that I think I just used a picture of him, like on like a picture of the rail from a picture of him, and then I like cut it out and everything, and like put a bunch of filters on it and like stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
very minimalistic process, but yeah, that I think that's what we did for those designs.
yeah. Have you gotten to the phase yet where you're looking at like your initial drops and you're like, dude, how did anybody buy this? Like this is so low quality compared to what I have now. Like, are you like entering those phases yet where you're
Yeah,
looking back?
I definitely like have started to realize, although I don't think it's been enough time for me to like, because like it's still like the same like part of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel
Yeah,
like I still identify with it a little bit. And then if I were to go back, I would just realize like I'm in the same spot now as I was then, just a different spot. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna
exactly.
look back on now in probably 2 years and just cringe, but it
Yeah,
is what it is.
yeah.
Just
I
how it
was
goes.
Yeah, I wasn't dissing any of your stuff, but it is part of the process. Like
Oh
the more
no,
you
yeah.
like you got to start just doing it, but then like as you learn more, you'll be like, "Oh, it's just the same thing as getting older."
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
that's I mean,
yeah.
if you don't experience that, then you're not improving.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. So you're still just launching. I think once you couple more years, you're going to look back as like I mean, especially at 17, you're going to be like a whole new person in a couple of
I
years.
know.
Yeah,
Believe me, I know. Yeah.
it's going to be a trip. Cool. Let me see. Have you done any other collabs other than with Jackson? I'm trying to. I think your website's like down right now, so I can't really look through all the
Oh
products.
yeah, yeah, it's locked until the drop.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah, so there was the rail skiing one, the newish schoolers one, with Sutter. That was pretty lit.
Yeah, you want to give the
Um,
background on that one? Like collabing with like a meme page. It's kind of that's
oh
like
yeah, yeah,
perfect
yeah.
for your age group. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, yeah. Another thing, yeah. So with that whole thing, with the newest schoolers collab, it was all just basically done like Evan hit me up asking if I was down to do it with his friend Sutter, who runs a meme page. At first, I was like that's definitely different, you know. Like I'm not sure people would fuck with that, but I like took a look at the page and I had seen it before, and I was like, no, nah, this is gonna get this is gonna get attention because he has like a pretty core, not core, but like committed following to his page. So it was a good move for both of us, I think.
Yeah. And how did you two meet each other?
Just through Evan.
Who's Evan again?
Oh, official no polls.
Oh, okay. There you go. I really
Yeah,
only know you guys through your Instagram handles, which
yeah.
is that like a thing? Like when people see you in person, or like see like that crew of people, like yo, your official no polls. Like, do people even know your guys' names, or is it just like, oh, that's the Jibskin kid?
I don't even know. I mean, I've had people like call me Steez dog and stuff like that. Like personally, I don't even think I warrant that kind of attention. You know, I'm
Yeah,
not. But yeah, people have called me Jibskin. I don't know about the other guys, but yeah, definitely experienced that a little bit.
yeah. It's funny,
Very,
dude.
very few people call me Henry, like just randomly. That yeah,
Yeah, dude. It's like the new Instagram. It's the Instagram era of skiing.
yeah.
It's wild.
I kind of
Um,
love it, honestly. I love like the new this new era. It's just like it's like Gen Z. It's like Gen Z in a ski era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so what do you guys think of all that? Like there's so many people like my age and above that are like, "Oh, Instagram's ruining skiing, dude. We don't have I mean the much older heads are like, "Dude, what happened to the selling the VHS tapes and the magazines and then the DVDs and now it's like people aren't even making ski like even digital releases of movies. They're just doing like Instagram clips or like 20-minute movies. Like, what do you think
Yeah,
about all these old heads that are trying to hold on to the past?"
I gotta say I completely disagree because okay, the thing about now is that like Instagram facilitates the sport in such a way where anyone can get famous, anyone can like get attention if they make like content, you know? Like all you have to do really is take your skiing, post it online consistently and just like the the best looking skiers will like get the most attention, you know? I feel like before you needed resources to make a ski film, like you needed stuff like that. Nowadays, all you need is like your phone, iMovie, and you just post that to Instagram and you do it like once a week and you can get attention. And so now we're seeing like 11-year-old kids who would probably never have their own video parts or anything, like just being Instagram famous. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's why I think this era is like amazing, you know?
Yeah, it definitely is way more accessible.
Yeah.
Like some people complain like the art of it is lost. Like, do you? I mean, obviously, can't speak for everyone at your age, but like, do you guys watch those older movies like that are hour and a half long, 12 segments, or is that just like way too much time to sit down and watch skiing?
No, I mean, I think like I like to think that I would just like sit down and like watch a ski movie, but realistically, like I just wouldn't. Like, it's it's just different. I feel like with TikTok, like my attention span is just like so ruined. Like I don't even watch regular movies. Like I don't watch TV or regular movies anymore. I just
Yeah.
watch like Instagram and TikTok, stuff like that. So
So like
probably
even like a
not.
5 minute YouTube video is too long now.
Oh no, no, 5 minute YouTube videos are like those are nice. Like
Perfect. Yeah.
the Faction Collective one that they did at Sauce Fe, like with montage and everything. That's like my favorite edit right now.
Yeah. Damn, dude, you guys are like this is. I love talking to you guys because this is like a glimpse into what skiing's gonna be in like 5 to 10 years, and
I
like
know.
there's always a new wave that's coming in. Like, how do you guys view new schoolers? Is that like a thing of the past, or you still think that new schoolers is a good part of skiing, or an important part of skiing rather?
I mean, I can't speak for everyone my age, obviously, but like I never really like had like a very active role in new schoolers, or like I never had like an active like page where I was always posting a lot. Like I just have never really been like on new schoolers. So I don't really know.
What about the Instagram account for new schoolers? You down with that? Like just them posting those clips and, or is it
Oh
like yeah,
yeah.
just whatever? They're just another page.
I mean, they are just another page, you know? They are just another page. Every page is just another page though. Like at this point, there's so many like content pages, like brands, just like bot accounts. It's just ridiculous. I mean, obviously most of them aren't bot accounts. The ones that people actually watch are legit, but still like I see the same clips like 5 times a day.
Oh, it drives me nuts, dude. You can't even like somebody does something sick, and then it's like all you see for the next 24 hours, or not even
Yeah.
like if it's really sick, it's like the whole week is that clip just reposted in 10 different ways.
Yeah, exactly. And then you see it on TikTok
Yeah, dude, I
in like
see.
really low quality.
Yeah, it's just super fried because it's been reshared so many times.
Yeah, like the like Jasper's world record. That I'm sick of that already.
Yeah, it's like 240p reposted over and over again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
damn, dude, things are changing quick. That's crazy. So this is what I want to know. Another thing about your age group.
Yeah.
Who are the guys that you guys look up to? Like, who's your generation's OG skiers?
Ooh. Well, it's changed a lot throughout the years. I feel like originally it was like the X Games pros, like the X Games guys that were like on like 2 or 3 years ago, like Henrik, Colby, like Nick Gepper, all those guys. I'd feel like I can't like name them all off the top of my head for some reason, but we all know who they are. And then also like the kids of my generation who are like a little bit older than me, like Jackson, all those kids, like they're also like super high in the influence right now.
So those are more
I
like the
honestly,
so those are more like the modern influences, like Jackson and like the kids your age, and then the generation above you, like the Henriks and the Nick Geppers. That's like the guys you were like looking up to growing up.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's funny, dude. It's just these every like I've been reading some Freeze magazines lately, and I don't know if you've heard these names, but like the Three Phils, or like even like Chris Davenport, or like the really early guys. Those were like the OG pioneers of skiing, and then there's the next generation. So it's just
Yeah, I
like
have
the
no
third and
idea who those guys are, honestly. All I know is like Tanner Hall.
yeah, and
Like,
he's definitely part of that generation for sure, and which is kind of funny because he spanned all of them. But it's funny like who gets kind of forgotten and who like gets remembered. I don't know. It's something that's just evolving that I think is pretty interesting.
yeah, yeah, no, like I always think about like what's skiing gonna be like in 10 years when like all the kids my age are like, you know, older guys and just looking on skiing like from it's just a weird thing to think about because I can't think of like a more advanced, like modernized version of the sport than it is now.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, especially you were saying like it's just insane right now for the competitions. It's only going to get crazier. Like you look at Walker Shreds, all the respect in
Yeah,
the world to him, little Shredder. Like you guys, the 17-year-olds are already old heads compared to the 11-year-old that can double. You know?
exactly, exactly. I'm like, there's no catching up here. Like, no
Yeah.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, yeah, I guess that because you're definitely not the first or last person that's expressing that. Like, hey, competitions are just like so screwed. Like, who even
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah. No, it's not fun to take it that seriously because then you just get disappointed. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, you know.
Are you like do you still get stoked on comp skiers your age, or do you care more about like just what they're posting on Instagram and like the content they're putting out? Like, do you even care about comp results for kids your age?
No, do not care about comp results. I mean, like, it's a good indicator as to like if a guy's a good skier or not, but like, I don't think anyone like looks at comp results. Like, no one's posting their comp results. Like, it's not really a major factor, you know.
Yeah, dude, super interesting. Love the insight into the next generation. Let's we'll transition into viewer questions because we got a
All
couple
right.
coming in. All right, we'll start off with you could really rattle some people here, especially the older crowd. What's your hot take in skiing?
Oh my, I haven't even thought of this. Oh my god. Um. Oh. Oh. Okay. Kids asking for sponsorships. Like, just stop. Like, if if you're a good skier, you'll get hit up for. If you're the kind of kid that can provide value to a brand will hit you up at some point because you will get noticed. It's a small enough community where like if you're not getting hit up by sponsors, it's just because like you can't provide anything to the sponsor, and like there's nothing wrong with that. Like it shouldn't be the reason that kids are skiing. It shouldn't be the reason kids are posting. I mean, maybe it should be the reason kids are posting, but you know that shouldn't be like what it's about. And I think like kids need to just like focus on skiing, focus on having fun with their friends, and just not worry about the comp stuff. Especially because most of the kids asking for sponsorships are like 12. Like they're not like 18-year-olds who are like, you know, trying to figure out like what options they have in skiing. Like these are young kids who just, you know, and it's just not about that. And I see other brands posting like, yo, stop asking us for sponsorships like all the time. And yeah, that would be my hot take.
I like that. That's a good hot take. We had, let's see, I want to make sure, uh, looking through, we had at least four people hit up the viewer questions and said, do they do sponsorships? What does it take to be sponsored? How do you get sponsored or notice them? How do you decide who to sponsor? So, like, when you sponsor someone, is it like what's your process of doing it? I think we went over a little bit earlier, but it's like if you like tomorrow, if you wanted to sponsor somebody, what would you do?
Um, I mean, it's really just about value that you can provide, like for the brand. You know, nothing in specific, like I'm or in particular. I'm not like looking for like only guys with a certain amount of followers or something, or only guys with you know certain results in comp or whatever. Like it's really just if you can provide something. If you have no followers on social media, but like everyone from one mountain knows you and like wants what you're wearing, like I'd probably send stuff to you. Although there's pretty much no one like that exists. But yeah, like it's really just you have to provide value for the brand. It's not just like you hit someone up for free stuff or something. Like I I don't want to have to think about. I don't know how to say this. It's like I don't want to be worried about like sending people free stuff. You know, like I don't want your only role in the brand to just wear the stuff and nothing else. Like you gotta like the clothing. You gotta want to wear it. You gotta like want to be a part of the community. You know, you have to interact. Like it's not just like get free stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is you're basically describing like sponsorship 101. It's like you people are sponsored by companies because they provide value for those companies,
Exactly, but no
or
one
because
gets
they're
this.
yeah, or because they're
See,
really great friends with the owner of the company. Like that's how you get sponsored, basically.
yeah, exactly. I mean, this is 101, but it's like it's ridiculous that people just don't care. I mean, they either don't know or they don't care because it's just like it keeps happening so much.
Yeah. Do you worry like about giving away too many free pairs of pants, and you're like, dude, I still need people to buy them, or is there enough people buying them that you're like, oh, I don't worry, I don't mind like sending out like a dozen pairs to people that are good.
Yeah, usually I set aside like 10 to 15 pairs that I'll just send out to different things and I'll make enough money with the rest of them that like I'll be fine. Um so I don't really worry about it, but yeah, I definitely have to like make sure that the people that I am sending stuff to, like I have to make sure that it's going to stuff that is, you know, the right source. Like
Yeah.
most of where the clothing goes to is like a people that are just going to post in it, like giveaways or like just donations for like comp awards and stuff like that.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on giveaways? Do you think that's like an effective way of actually growing your company, or is that kind of a waste of time?
I mean, I do it more just for the fan base than to grow the brand. It actually like kind of hurts the algorithm for your account for a while. Like if you get a ton of attention on one post and then like obviously not the same amount of attention on the next post because you're not getting like 1,000 tags, then Instagram is just going to see your account and be like, oh, this account is dying. Let's just not recommend it to anyone. And so your account will just be like dead for like a week. So
Damn.
yeah, I don't like doing giveaways, but I just do it for like the kids, you know.
Yeah. All right, we'll change gears a little bit. Scards. David Coldbrenner, have you ever hit any urban in Westchester?
No, I've never skied urban actually. Like
Yeah.
I've been like saying I'm gonna ski urban for like a good decade, and I've never done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get like one day, we get like 3 snow days a year, and it's usually like 6 inches. And although I have brought my skis to like a sledding hill and like built a jump, I've never actually skied like urban rails and stuff.
Yeah, of course it's tough. You got to go to school in the morning, you know.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
have all the time in
exactly.
the world. All right, you got a shout out from Carco. He said New York represent.
Yes, sir.
Let's see.
I got to
Um,
shred with that dude soon because he goes to the fridge a lot, and I'm like 45 minutes from there.
from
Yo,
in
so
New York, or sorry, in
yeah,
Jersey.
yeah, and like it's like in the Meadowlands.
Yeah, that's sick. This question blew me away. Bin Dalmook. This guy says, "I live in Dubai. Do you deliver there? The pants are fire."
Oh yeah, I deliver worldwide.
Let's go. So
If you have an address,
you got a fan in
yeah.
Dubai. You ever send anything across the world like that?
A lot of people in Japan buy stuff, but yeah, not really anywhere else. Mostly Japan and France, I would say, are like the internet, and Canada, obviously Canada, but
Yeah.
yeah, Canada is like the main international one, and then Japan and like France and anywhere near the Alps would be like after that.
Yeah. All right, let me see. Blah blah blah. This dude, Talon, he said, "Why are the pants so unbreathable?" Is that
Un
feedback you've heard?
Unbreathable. I have not heard that. They have vents on the inside, so I actually haven't heard that. Sorry if your legs can't breathe.
Maybe he just didn't. Maybe he just didn't find the zipper for the vent.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that would solve everything right there.
yeah.
Drink Sutter asks, "Will we ever see a jacket?"
A jacket? Yes. Short answer, yes. Long answer, uh, I can't. I'm not giving away that much information yet, but yes.
Cool. Yeah, so kind of along those same lines, official no polls. What are the next steps for future growth of the brand?
Um, just doing everything more content, more products, just more stuff to come.
Yeah. Do you plan? Owen asks, are there plans to host rail jams and events? Like, are you gonna expand into that territory of things?
Um, I'd like to, I'd like to host rail jams, but that's it's not really possible. I mean, I think it would be possible actually. I don't know. I've thought about hosting rail jams or trying to do something like that, but there's not a major community of park skiers like where I'm from really, and it'd be like a really long drive for everyone. And so I'd really have to like make sure that people would actually show up because like there's so much like stuff that you have to deal with, like insurance and stuff like that. So if there was like enough of a demand in New York or wherever I'm living at the time, then yeah, I would definitely throw a rail jam, but not soon probably.
Yeah. Have you like? I mean, obviously you're on the SA circuit for like all those competitions, but have you been to like a proper rail jam that's just like? Do they have those still at local mountains? Just like you set up and maybe they give out free gear to the winner, or is it more formal now?
No, yeah, they used to have them a lot at my mountain, like when I was like a little kid, like I said, but they don't really host those anymore. Like the parks at my mountain are just they're not even like good enough for rail jams.
It's just super beat.
Yeah.
Damn, that's tough. Yeah, that I mean, I'm like however many years old you sit like 6, 7 years older than you, and even I was like I look back on the rail jams from when I was a little kid, where they were still doing like slope style events at my tiny local mountain in Connecticut, and so it's like they've been
Yeah.
moving away from like those community events for years now. Like this isn't like a new
Yeah.
evolution; it's just like further down the road of because when I was your age maybe like a couple years younger, like when I was like 14 to 16, there were rail jams like all the time during the summer, couple during the winter, and then even
Dude, I wish.
yeah, like we used to be skiing on like just a single patch of snow onto like a rail and call it a rail jam in the summer at the mountain. And now it's like, oh, why would we do that? It's not going to make any money. It's like kind of expensive, blah blah blah. So that's
Yeah,
part
like
what you're seeing is part of a long trend of that stuff dying out, unfortunately.
yeah, yeah. I think like I definitely like walked into I don't know. I feel like being a kid right now as a skier is like weird because there's been like so much like stuff, like such movement going on that we just like stepped into. Um and it's just continuing, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely everything's shifting around. It is
Yeah.
tough. Yeah. So Colby asks, why get this is specifically in regards to the pants because I know that you sell other stuff, but he said why get Jibskin over R3, any tides, or any other brand making pants?
Well, first of all, they're less expensive. That's I mean that would be the reason for me. Um they're they're good pants. Like I don't know. It's kind of hard to answer that. Like
Yeah,
they're good pants. They're gonna continue to get better if you're not uh super into them right now. But I'm definitely like working to dial them in. Um, but why buy mine over theirs? I don't know. We all make good pants.
yeah. It's all love. It's all love for every other company.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
cool. And so I like to finish this off. I mean, you're 17 years old, so this will definitely be inspiring for like the other kids your age. Um, not to make this one so about age, but it's just I feel like it's relevant for starting a business. What are your tips for getting started? Because you definitely, like you said, like kids your age, there's definitely people that are doubters, and honestly, that doesn't even change as you get older. People are always afraid to take action. So, like, what's your tip for getting started and actually just going for it?
Um, I would say like the most important part is just like believe that it's gonna work. Like just believe in what you're doing. And if you feel like it's not going right, don't just like quit or feel sad or feel like things aren't going right and just leave it. Just figure out how to make it go properly and like don't stop until it's going the way you want it to. Because like if you believe in it enough, it'll just work out. You know, it just will. Like that's what I've noticed. Like you just gotta believe in what you're doing and it'll come.
Yeah, dude, you got a great head on your shoulders. I think you're gonna be completely fine with that, whatever you end up choosing to do. Do you feel like this has like contributed to like just kind of closing thoughts? Do you feel like doing something like this has made you more confident in like your ability to do other things?
Yeah. No, this has been like a personality altering type of event, honestly. Like it this is the first thing in my life that I've been able to really like just attack, like take total action, because you can't go like halfway, you know.
Mhm.
Like I really just stepped into it and like fully committed. And yeah, it's the first thing that I've done that for, like, to this degree.
That is awesome. Yeah, that is perfectly said. So, you got any shout outs, any closing thoughts? Anybody definitely plug where they could buy your stuff and like where they could find you?
Yeah, Jibskin Apparel, at Jibskin Apparel on Instagram, jibskin.com. Shout outs. Shout out to all the homies. Every single homie there is. You know who you are. Um, yeah. Shout out Railskiing. Shout out newish schoolers. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Henry, Jibskin, whatever you like me to call you. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming on today. It was great getting to talk to you and great getting some insight into what you're doing and the mind of the next generation.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.